Man who knows a little something about the first in the nation primary process, too. Joined now live by Senator John McCain, who also happens to be a two-time winner of the New Hampshire primary.
Right.
Good morning, Senator. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm sorry I'm not up there in part of the fight. It's the most exciting time of any campaign. And by the way, I agree with a lot of the views that were just expressed. I was listening to it. If you take away New Hampshire's first in the nation status, then you will be enhancing dramatically the role of money. And that's not good. The people in New Hampshire don't care about money. You can't buy a vote in New Hampshire. They want to see you. They want to touch you. The old Mo Udall joke about a guy in Concord that said, "What do you think about Mo Udall for president?" He said, "I don't know. I only met him twice." And the reason why that's funny is because it happens to be true. What percentage now are still at least saying they're undecided? 30, 40%, something like that?
You know, on the Republican side, we're looking at 55% right now, Senator. So you hit that right. Let me get you from Washington, D.C. We've had a couple of candidates up here who say, you know what, there are voices in Washington, though, that do want New Hampshire to go away. They have too disproportional a say in this. From your standpoint, how real is the threat, and what are you hearing outside of the borders of the state?
I just don't see it happening. I think there would be an uprising amongst those of us who like the system as it is. We haven't done a bad job picking our nominees. We've I think, gone through a process that only New Hampshire can do. And I love every other state in America. I love my own state, but the fact is that this has become a national tradition, and one that I would be, I think would be very harmful, as I said. Money plays too great a role in politics today. If you did it on a regional basis, honestly, the person with the most money would obviously have a tremendous advantage, because then it's buying media. In New Hampshire, I don't care if you buy every minute of WMUR, because the people want to see the candidate. One of my favorite stories Bob Dole tells, he was in a person's living room in Concord, and after it was over, a woman came up to him and said, "That was great, Senator Dole, but you're not in my neighborhood. The people in my neighborhood expect to see you if you want to really get their support." And so he got his team together and said, "Look, we got to go over there." Found out the woman lived 2 blocks away. So the fact is that this is really one of the reasons why John Kasich is coming on, I believe, is because he's done 100 town hall meetings. The reason why I won in 2000 and again in 2008 was that I outworked everybody, and you can't buy that.
Senator, I want to ask you one more question, then I'll let you go. But Senator Harry Reid, he's been critical of New Hampshire, and he says New Hampshire and Iowa, for that matter, shouldn't be picking presidents. Well, as you know, you can win the primary and not win the White House. But how did you evolve as a candidate from the time that you first set foot here to the time that you won your second primary?
I evolved as a candidate because I was subjected to very thoughtful and important questions, which made me think about the issues a lot more than I normally would, because I had to be prepared to answer those questions in a way that would be satisfactory to that audience. It's a great training program as well. And all I can say is that I believe the people of New Hampshire understand this responsibility better than anybody, and that's why they examine the candidates, and that's why I think on Tuesday night you're going to see some surprises. We always do, because so many of the voters and independents make up their minds literally when they go into the ballot booth, and I think that's good, because they have weighed all the candidates and listened to those candidates' views. And you know, it's a wonderful state too, from one end to the other, from Berlin to Portsmouth happens to be one of my favorite towns, and the people, no matter whether they're going to vote for you or not, are always glad to see you, whether it be at the drugstore or whether it be at the restaurant or wherever. They're always very receptive, very pleasant, and ready to listen. That's what America should be all about.
Well, Senator John McCain, I certainly appreciate your time this morning here on a Sunday. I got to point out, very funny stuff with you and Lindsey Graham doing the open to the debate last night, playing off of The Muppet Show.
Thanks again.
Thanks for joining us. I'll be right back with more. Stay with us.